This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 66. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekahakradash. Yahweh being the true name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. Yahweh Shai being the true name of the only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and rule well. And shalom to you brothers out there laboring in this truth with all sincerity. This verse stemmed off of an article that I seen, and how they was doing Jake's kicking them out of certain towns and cities violently, which violently some were killings involved, by the numerous killings involved, to get these Negroes out of particular cities here in the States. And I can only imagine the terror families had to go through, fathers, mothers, children, within the rigorous civil unrest at that time frame. But that just lets you know the type of evil devils you're dealing with, and they got a lot to pay for. This is just one of the many accounts. So let me go get this article real quick. It says, it's here. This says a list of expulsions of African Americans. This is a list. It says I'll read this little bit right here first, this little paragraph. It says African Americans have been violently expelled from at least 50 towns, cities, and countries in the U.S. Most of these expulsions occurred in the 60 years following the American Civil War, which that was around 1854 or something like that. 1860. I'll get it in a minute. It was around 1865, I believe. It said most of these explosions occurred in the 60 years following the American Civil War, but continued until 1954. The justifications of the expulsions varied, but often involved a crime allegedly committed by Black Americans, labor-related issues, or property takeovers. You see, so hey, if somebody wanted your spot, they wanted your land, they lie, come up with some type of fabricated story and to be justified to roll on you and kick you up out of there. Same tactics. And the same tactics now. Just like they saying, so-called blacks are the problem with the crime here in America. Same accuser of thy brethren. Same spirit. And you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are going to find out who you're really dealing with. That's why we have to operate in the spirit. Hey, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but spiritual. Okay? We lean solely on Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Let me get a little bit of this. Let me see, where was it? Oh, it's a timeline. I'll get a precept real quick, though. They do have a timeline, but let me get this. But they were saying, all this was going on, prior, 60 years prior to the American Civil War, which that was in, and Jake's fought in the war. Negroes fought in the American Civil War only to get out and go through the shit like this. So the American Civil War was fought from 1861 to 1865. Um, According to that article, it said 60 years after that, so you add 60 years to 1865, I think you get like 1925. So from 1925 up until 25, but they say even up to all the way up until 1954. It says most of these expulsions occurred in the 60 years following the American Civil War, but continued until 1954. So even 30 or 29 more years, it was still going on. But that's, part of, the scriptures don't lie, man. Thy life shall hang. Let's get the NLT on the right hand side. Your life will constantly hang in the balance. You will live night and day in fear, unsure if you will survive. And I'll get a couple of these in the timeline. It says this has dates and locations. It says 1931, Portsmouth, Ohio. All 80 black residents were expelled under Ohio's discriminatory black laws. Okay, that's one account. Wyandotte, Michigan, if that's how you pronounce it. African Americans was expelled from running on multiple occasions. Let's get a different one. Let me see. Oh, check this out. Pollock, Louisiana in 1873. The small black population of Pollock left the town after the massacre of more than 100 blacks in nearby Colfax. See? Massacre. Says Salina, Tennessee. Selena's black population left on November 1st after being subject to a series of violent actions over the course of several months. So you constantly getting rolled on. Series of violent acts, day by day. You don't know what the next day gonna bring. It says Comanche County, Texas. White residents expelled blacks from Comanche County because of the alleged crimes committed by black men. See? Accuser of thy brethren. Let me get a precept real quick. This is the book of Psalms, Psalms 140 and 1. It says, deliver me, O Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, it says, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. So, see, you can't make this up, man. You can't make this up. They have a perpetual hatred for you, and it ain't gone. They were designed that way. You can't. A leopard can't change his spots, as the scriptures say. Let's see. Let's get some more. Let me see. Yeah, they're kicking Jake out the land. Just you might go from one town to another town, and they don't like your ass. Let me see. And y'all see it. I'm gonna read a couple of them though. A couple of these, even these false allegations that led to, Jake getting expelled out of the land. It said this is Minot, Missouri. Minot, Missouri. Black population was expelled. The whole damn black population getting expelled. Come on now. Minot's black population was expelled after the lynching of a black man who killed a white man during a fight. The Minot expulsion was the first of was the first of numbers of violent expulsions in southwestern Missouri. Let's see. Let me see. Elwood, Indiana. Oh, this that one. This is, yeah, I think this was like a real famous one, I believe. Let me see. It says I'll start at a massacre. It says, a massacre which was carried out by white supremacists in Wilmington, North Carolina, United States on Thursday, November 10th. It says the white press in Wilmington originally described the event as a race riot caused by black people. Lying. Man, Jake, why would, I mean, Jake really a plain man. Hey, the scriptures say Jake was a plain man that dwelled in tents. Jake mind his business, man. Black people really mind their business, especially then. They ain't out trying to, they not trying to pursue blood. And Esau, it was a cunning hunter. A hunter. He still has that spirit to hunt. Jake, man. The progenitor, Esau, which is the progenitor of the self-proclaimed white man, still has that perpetual hatred for Jake, for the progenitor of Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Let's get that. I was holding that definition too, just for the sake of edification. Let me see. Progenitor. It says a person or thing from which a person, animal, or plant is descendant or originates. An ancestor or parent. Okay? So, the Lord, the Heavenly Father made Esau the way he was, and his descendants the way they are. Since they like to pursue blood will pursue them. Thus saith the scriptures. I'll get a little bit more on these accounts and then get a couple more precepts. Let me see. Oh, I was reading that. It says a race riot caused by black people, allegedly. Since the late 20th century and further study, the event has been characterized as a violent overthrow of a duly elected government by a group of white supremacists. The number of black people killed by the mob by the end of the day, November 10th, is uncertain. Estimates have included about 20, more than 20 or more, somewhere between 14 and 60, as many as 60. It says at least 60, 90, more than 100, and exceeded 300. An additional number, variously estimated between 20 and 50, were banished and ordered to leave town by the mob. Imagine that, man. Imagine going through that, man. That precept just hit hard. Your life will, 28 and 66, your life will constantly hang in the balance. You will live night and day in fear, unsure if you will live. You know what I wanted to get? That Ezekiel in the NLT real quick, cause that one. Let me see. It's okay. I'll get it in a minute. Let's get this one. I'll just start right here. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end, because they ruled, they was ruling over us, they gave us hell, but they, as people would say now, they did the most. They did the most. You know, the Lord gave us over to them to be subject to them, but they did the most, and they got a lot to pay for. But I'm gonna get it in the NLT real quick. 35, Ezekiel 35 5. Hold on. I'm sorry. And 5, it says, 35 and 5. It's NLT. It says, your eternal hatred for the people of Israel led you to butcher them when they were helpless, when I had already punished them for all their sins. They overdid it, and they gonna get overdone too. I'll get that last one, that verse 6 in a minute. Let me get a couple more of these accounts, and we'll get that verse 6. Yeah, but even, but these some Jake soldiers right here. These some so-called Negroes serving in Civil War, only to get out the Civil War and not a warring on you. The war wasn't over. You got out the war. Now Whitey's waging war on you. Ain't that a trip? But let me see. I'll get a couple more of these and get that last precept. Hold on, let's see. Look, this is a whole list. All these, and there's more accounts than this. This just, look, Illinois. 19, Arkansas, most men allegedly assaulting. It's always that. That's always the lie. Look, this is 1901. Most of Mina's black population left the town after a black man named Peter Berryman was lynched for allegedly assaulting a white girl. See, hey man. Which they've been wanting us since back then, but it's always in we ain't gotta assault nobody. What we assault for? What? Jake don't gotta assault. He ain't gotta assault no snowflake. But look at all the whole population left. They like, forget this, man. We gone. But let me see. Look at this one in Missouri. 300 black residents were expelled after white residents lynched 3 black men for allegedly killing. This man, all these allegations just to roll on you. I'll get a couple more. A mob of 50 forced black residents out of Decatur, Indiana. Let's see if it's. Look at all this, man. Just look. Look. You see it. Yeah, man. So the same old textbook reasons to shed blood of the children of Israel. Same old textbook. Same old textbook. They force you to leave by you think they just ask you, can y'all just leave, Look at this one, 200 in Kentucky. 200 black workers were forced to leave Corbin during a labor dispute. It's just a labor dispute. Y'all get up out of here. Go. While they upping weapons on you, telling you to leave. You take your family too and leave. Hey man, you don't know if your life is, man. Hey, we got a lot to pay for, man. Got a lot to pay for, man. Verse 3, Psalms 140 and 3. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent's adder. Poison is under their lips. Lies. Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purpose to overthrow my goings. Who you think you're talking about, man? Edomites. Descendants of Esau. Yeah. Man. They got a lot to pay for. Let me get that. Let me get that Ezekiel in the NLT. Hey, Ezekiel 35:5. Your eternal hatred. Oh, I got that on. I'll read it all the way through. Your eternal hatred for the people of Israel led to you butcher them when they were helpless, when I had already punished them for all their sins. Verse 6. As surely as I live, says the sovereign Lord, since you show no distaste for blood, I will give you a bloodbath of your own. Your turn has come. Call your turn is Edom. Your turn is coming. It says, I will make Mount Seir utterly desolate, killing off all who try to escape and any who return. What's Mount Seir? Let's get that just for the sake of edification. Real quick. Mount Seir. Let's get Seir. Biblical outline usage said a patriarch of Horites. It says the inhabitants of Edom. Bingo. Therefore, the descendants of Esau. There you have it. The Edomites. Right here. See? So, hey, the Lord got it out for y'all. Your time has come. It says your turn has come. So, yeah, man, got a lot to pay for, man. All these different accounts. All this. Bodies being burned. Kicking out Jake out the land. 500. Look, hold on. Wow. Ooh, look. I'm going to end with this one. It says, Ocoee, Florida. It says Ocoee's black community was burned to the ground and nearly all of its 500 residents killed or expelled by whites to prevent blacks from voting. And after false rumors of a black man killing 2 whites, at least 56 blacks were killed during the massacre. 2 white mob members were shot and killed in self-defense. You see, they can't make this up, man. Can't make this up. So, with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakradash. Double honors the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and rule well. Until the next time, Shalom.